Hey all, J-Town here, and this is Infinite Magicraid. At the time of this recording, we're about 1 week away from the long-awaited global launch, coming to both iOS and Android. It's been available in a long open beta test, only available in Android or emulator where most of us play, but this game has undergone so many changes, it's right around the corner, and I wanted to take this time to make a guide for you all that whether you're watching this at launch or months down the road from now is going to apply and is the definitive guide to the first steps you should take, the things you should prioritize when you first step onto Lowe's continent. You've met the Sword Harper Guards, you've encountered the great evil trying to take over the continent, and you're ready to do something about it. Well, let me help you out. Alright, first things first, let's start with the basics. You found Infinite Magicraid because it looks pretty cool. It's a gacha. You like collecting heroes, you like going on adventures, you like leveling up. Same reason we're all here, right? Now, it is a gacha, but it is also an idle game. And so, we're going to give you the core tenets to always focus on no matter what point of the game you're in. It will help you grow the account as fast as possible. And the first of those tenets is progress equals income. And by income, I mean resources and currencies you can use to build your account and your heroes to get faster further. So, what do I mean by progress is income? Well, right behind me is this chest. Now, this chest is going to have your idle rewards. We'll open that up, and you'll see all of these wonderful rewards. Okay? You'll see that I have this many stars out of the maximum, at a level 12 auto drop. Right, we will claim that. Now, the amount of things you're going to get is based on that number of stars right there. And you're saying to yourself, where do those stars come from, J-Town? Let me show you. So right here, if you click on the world map, aka the campaign, so you've probably seen maps like this before, where you've got all the different stages, or chapters, and then in each chapter, you're going to find the different stages. They're going to go up in difficulty, have various rewards. Or once you've beaten one difficulty, you'll go on to the next difficulty up. And it'll be a lot of the same encounters, the same storyline repeated, but harder and more challenging to keep progressing. You'll see here on the bottom, you get these stars. You've gotten them from clearing the stages. So you're going to accumulate stars to get that chest, those idle rewards, to give you as much as possible, as quickly as possible. The sooner you get a larger income of resources, the more you're able to play and grow your account and progress, and it's all around a better time. Now, near these stars that are for your progress that equal the amount of income for the campaign, you'll see all of these pictures here, these rewards. Every so often you're going to get all the way to the maximum, which you'll be awarded with Catherine. She is a legendary hero who's only available from reaching certain milestones. The graphics have completely changed since the initial launch of the game. She looks so cool. I love that sword. Absolutely love that sword. Yeah. Gotta love it. Anyway, the progress is making your idle rewards so much more juicy every time you come back to get it every day, but you're also going to gain these various rewards, right? 500 gems? Oh yeah. These 2 advanced skill scrolls for a legendary or above hero? Oh yeah. And this isn't the only place you'll get these rewards. This is where you'll define the progress for that idle rewards chest. But there are other places in the game where you're going to get rewards based on the amount of progress, based on stars. The Tower of Mark, which I'll explain in another video. This video is just as the core tenets for how to get started. Future videos will cover all of these different game modes. But you can see here, anytime you see a bar like this with progress and rewards behind it, you want to be achieving those things, right? Once you get up to here, where you get multiple copies of Catherine, yeah, you know you've arrived. But it's a long journey ahead of you. That's why I'm here to help you take it. You can see there's many other game modes. We'll get into those in future videos. Like I said, all of those have ways to make progress, but we're talking about the core tenets, right? Those things you can believe in. Progress equals income. Now, when you go in to collect your income every single day, right, this refreshes and you can claim it. If you wait the full 24 hours, it'll be that huge haul like I had. Or you can just quick auto drop, which will cost you gems, right? And it'll give you 6 hours worth. In my opinion, this is one of the best ways that you can spend gems. I recommend doing this every time. You can do it twice a day. I recommend doing that every day because in this game, we are playing the long game, right? You're not going to tomorrow wake up and just defeat hell difficulty, the final chapter, unless you're going to spend a lot of money. And even in one day, you'd be playing all day, right? The game is about long-term growth. It's going to be about the collection of your heroes, right? Which takes us into the next point, right? The next tenet is see what you're working with. Assemble your team, right? This is where you come to wish, aka summon for your different heroes. You've got the different tiers that are refined. It costs 5 per. You can get epic heroes, purple heroes, but it's rare. This is where you're going to get your fodder, right? Which we'll talk about that next. Then you have got your excellent wish, aka epic wish or purple heroes. You're going to get blues, better chances at getting epic heroes. Then also the first tier where you can get legendaries. Legendaries are very, very good, but also very, very rare. Next up is the Supreme Wish, aka the legendary summons, where you have a higher chance of getting legendary heroes. And there is a built-in pity to this. When you first start the game, your pity will be much faster to get to, but then after that, there is a hard pity. So it's all just random. You're trying your luck. We all know the rush of that. We love it. And then this locked Miracle Wish are a special kind of wish that are gotten from certain events or purchasing special packs, but then only used during special events to get a select cadre of heroes, right? So most of the time, we're just going to be focused on refined, excellent, supremes. So we want to see what we're working with to determine how we're going to make that progress, to increase that income, right? You see here, we can summon some of these. You'll see what you're going to get. Nothing but fodder, right? These are all just fodder. Let's try some of these. Let's pull a free one, right? You're going to get a free one every couple of days. No shame in the game. It is a 3-star. Everything that's 3-star and below is fodder. The only time you're going to use 3 stars is at the very beginning of the game when they hand them to you until you start summoning and finding your own team. Let's pull some of these, see what we get here, just so you can have an idea of what it's going to be like. Look at that. We got a purple, right? We got an epic hero who is personally my favorite hero in the game. I've got a video guide all around this guy, Holder. I love him. He's just fun to me and was the first hero I really gravitated to. But I digress. You're going to see what you got to work with. All right. All right. See, we've got another one here. That's good. Every 10, you're pretty much going to get one at least. Eden. All right. She's really good. That's good to know. We're out of those. We got 6 left. All right. So let's go take a look at our Supremes for a minute, right? We got 5 of those. Let's just see what happens. Another Eden. So this is a perfect segue into the next part of this tenet, which is exclusive weapons matter, right? And by that I mean the duplicates. When you're first seeing what you have to work with as a team, it's going to be which heroes you get, but then also which heroes you get duplicates of. Because some of them stay mediocre just having 1 copy of them. Other ones become just next level and complete carries if you have multiple copies of them. So after you've done all your summons and you found out, okay, who have I gotten duplicates of in the epic quality or above, you know, go to your heroes and just take a look and see, okay, what's the best team I can assemble to make that progress, to make that income, right? We know we pulled 2 copies of Eden. I know I already have her, but for the sake of this video, we pulled 2 copies, right? Now, duplicates matter because after Awakening, which is the next tenet, which we'll talk about, is this exclusive weapon right here, right? These are perks that occur once you feed, if you will, or upgrade them with a duplicate copy of them. Their talents can utterly change become way more powerful and take them from sometimes mediocre to very, very good, right? Now, with one more copy, she will get increase all ally speed by 20% for 2 turns. At level 3 is where Eden shines and becomes a powerhouse, especially in guild boss teams or other just general progress teams. I've made it to hell difficulty on multiple accounts using her. So you've looked at what heroes you're going to get. You've seen who you've got copies of. Now comes the third tenet, which is do not diversify too soon. Now, what I mean by diversify is when you're looking at your heroes, you're like, okay, I can upgrade these. I can take some of these guys. I can level them all up. This guy looks cool. This guy looks cool. I could level all those up. You don't want to do that too early, all right? Because you're going to spread all your resources out between 8, 9, 10 heroes, and you're not going to have the power to get through some of those stages that you could have to increase that income to grow your account. You do not want to diversify too early. Now, how do you not diversify too early? How do you really hone in on getting that team? Well, that comes to the next tenet, which I have an entire video on about why this might be the most important thing in all of Infinite Magicraid, and it is awakening. All right. So once again, back here in the Heroes tab, you see the little awaken button, right? When a hero has become awakened, they then gain this pink star to show they've been awakened. Now, what does awakened even mean? Well, that's to increase their level capacity, right? So when you're getting a hero, you're going to pull a new epic hero. For instance, one of the Edens we pulled. And you say, okay, I want to upgrade her. Well, what you'll do is you can level her all the way up. And you'll see that she's going to stop at 80. Okay, well, I want her to get past 80. If the cap is 150, how do I do that? Well, in the crafting section, you can raise them up tiers by feeding to them fodder of the same star quality. These stars are the pre-awakening level cap identifiers, right? So let's just, for example, feed a couple of these in. And you can use these eggs here, which are just kind of like chickens in Raid as the best example, or foodies in Awakened Chaos Era. They are just universal, neutral, non-unit fodder that counts, right? So we'll craft her up. Don't remind me of that. It's just telling me, hey, you're using other epic things. You'll see that a lot. She now has gone up to 5 stars. Her level cap is now at 100. Now, once she's at 100, she disappears off this list. You're never going to see anything that's 5-star on this list because you can no longer craft them up. Once they're 5-starred, now they're ready to be awakened, right? So let's go and take a look at the wonderful Eden we made into 5-star versus the 4-star one. See, we've given her a ning. Now, the way to increase that is to awaken them, right? And you can see here it converts from 5 stars into a pink star. Now you do that by feeding in 5 stars. You can see how it goes up, right? You feed all 4 stars to 4 stars to get them up to 5. 5 stars have to be fed 5 stars. At first, it's only going to take 2, right? But then after that, it'll take 3, and so on and so forth. Now, just a minor little bonus rule, you never feed a legendary as a fodder. As tempting as it is to make progress, you never do that, okay? Because you may get duplicates of one of these, and they are very hard to come by. And one that seems mediocre now, just having one copy, you're like, oh, I'll never use that. You get that second copy, and then they're elevated up, and you'll spend an eternity wishing you hadn't fed them. So just do not do that. I will teach you how to get more 5-star fodder. So you're saying, okay, it increases the level cap. What's the other benefit of awakening them? Why is that so important? Why is that the golden rule? Well, because awakening them then lets them have access to other things. For example, emblems, right? See how it says unlock at Awaken 1? These, which you probably have seen a very similar style in other games, are just their talents, basically. They give them so many more stats. They function in different ways. You can pick 2 of these 3 trees. We'll get into a whole video guide on that itself. But awakening them lets you build all the way down to reach their full potential. So that's why awakening is so important. You raise their level cap, then you open up the possible avenues to upgrade those heroes, right? Emblems is just one way. Exclusives, right? Those happen when you awaken them, right? And in addition to getting these perks when you awaken them and then ascend them up those awakenings, you get bonuses to your stats. 10% flat stats just right on top of that at every tier up. It's such a great system. That's why awakening should be your focus. So not only do we not diversify too early, we awaken, right? Because we want to get the max potential. And why are those two things important? Because the more powerful a team gets us farther progress in the game, which then increases the amount of income we're going to get, right? Progress equals income. Do not diversify too early. Figure out what the game has given you to work with as a team and awaken, right? These are the things that you always want to keep in mind, no matter what else we're talking about. You want to get into arena or you want to do all these other things, which we'll talk about. Those are the core tenets that will stick with you forever. So now you're saying, J-Town, that's pretty basic. How do I then take those things and actually make it into progress? Well, you're not diversifying too early, so you're focusing on just a few select champions. I'd say one at first to get all the way to Awaken 5. That's the top. And then a couple others, maybe supports. You start coming up 1, 2, and 3, right? Now, there are different units who are shielders, aka tanks, or defenders, right? Wim is one of the best. He's a protection. He uses a shield. He can place a shield on your entire party, and he just looks cool, right? My favorite, Older, he's a damager, right? And he's who I usually take up first all the time just because I like him. But there are many, many options. Don't let anybody tell you that you have to level up this champion or you have to level up this champion, because there are so many teams. The roster has literally doubled since I first started covering this game when the open beta launched. There are so many combinations you can make. That's why you see, who does the game give you? Who do you have the most copies of for exclusive weapon unlocks, right? And who's actually going to work well together? There are so many things to consider. It's why this game is so cool. Their skills can interact with each other, right? For example, Older has a talent where when he is under a damage up, right, a attack up increase, and he uses a certain ability, then that ability will actually then increase his attack even more. You want to pair him with people like Eden, who through her exclusive weapons, right, increase speed and also the attack up, because then it initiates or enables that other hero to then get that added benefit from their skill. So you're looking for those synergies and those team compositions that can help you progress. So having a high damager as your first focus, right? And then followed along by supports, aka protections or shielders, and then healers, speed up, right? Initiators, other shielders who are kind of hybrids who can do healing, shielding, and cleansing, right? So you want to say focus on, I would recommend 3 to start. One of them you're going to take all the way to 5 as hard as you can, and then 2 supports, a shielder or a healer to go along with them, because supports, do not sleep on supports in this game. Very, very powerful, right? And there are many options. Eden is a great option. Magus is a fan favorite as far as supports go. More niche and arena focus, he can just make you do some crazy, crazy things. Achman is a great AoE damager. Now, another option in addition to Wim, is he's the only shielder I've pointed out, you can also go with Kato, which on my free-to-play account, I got to hell difficulty with this guy, and he looks badass. So there's so many combinations, but just find out, solidify who it is, test some, and then go to it with about 3 to start with. Okay, do not diversify too early. I could go on and on about that, but it's so important that you make sure you get your core team up to make that campaign progress. Because we're playing the long game, right? And 1 month from now, you could have been getting juicy rewards from this that have upped your account, or if you had not so much progress, lesser, and then just you're going to exponentially fall behind the potential you could have been at, right? So that's why those things are important. Now, Some things that are not tenets, but are just general rules you always want to go. Obviously, there's the follow the red dots. Red dots tell you about new stuff you've unlocked, things that are just coming off cooldown, things to collect. Always check your red dots. For example, right here are gifts from updates or your arena ranking rewards, right? Things to claim. Just nice, juicy things. We love it. Notifications sometimes will have dots just to tell you that there are things going on. One of which to mention is that just before recording this video, this game has passed over 800,000 pre-registrations, which is huge. We're on track to make 1 million. That is going to be great. So many new players coming into the game, right? You've got friend requests here on your red dots. You've got the milestone, which is just when the whales make progress and achieve certain things, everybody gets a little piece of the action, right? So it's a small reason to want to cheer for the whales, right? Hero regression, you can unbuild heroes if you mess up, but it's very limited on when these happen, right? So make sure you're careful with that. Your dispatch here is another idle reward, but it's quests that you send out every day. Now, you can collect those. You'll get all these juicy things. You see there's a level here, and you have currently available this many per day. Now, you can refresh them, but personally, I would never spend gems on this, ever. And I'll tell you why shortly. We'll go into what you should do. I would never spend gems on this. All you want to do in your first weeks of the game is just to be sending out whatever missions it gives you and then collecting them. And make sure you're doing the maximum amount per day, because we just want to level this up, because the higher we level that up, the better these quests get, and you'll no longer get the low level ones that give you just trash rewards, right? So you don't want to spend your gems on these refreshes, because the more of them you refresh, the more gems you're going to spend, and those gems could be used to great things elsewhere, right? Make sure you're setting your dispatches, right? Make that progress to get better income. Those things are going to grow your account exponentially, right? Just think about in a month, you've had better income from all your dispatches and your progress idle rewards. How your trajectory, you want to make sure that trajectory of your account is upward and onward and doesn't stagnate, right? Now, in order to do these dispatches, you're going to need to deploy different champions, but they don't have to be your main ones in a huge roster, right? They could be some of that fodder that you pull. So a good method is to every day collect your rewards. They're going to have some fodder phantoms in there or fodder heroes in there. Immediately after that, set out your dispatch. Before you would go down to your crafting and crunch or feed them into each other to make better fodder to then continually star up your champions. I love to do this. I love to crunch them, to build them up, to elevate some of my different heroes, right? But always get your new round of fodder, and you'll get some of those from campaign as well. Then set out your dispatches, and then crunch in that order, right? Collect, dispatch, crunch. Seems easy enough. Now, as you're exploring the game and you make that progress, at different points of progress, different modes will open up in the game. Follow through, do what it tells you, because there's many other ways to then empower those heroes you focused on, right? But we'll cover a lot of those other methods in future videos, like I've said. Now, one of the major ways, this is a caveat to the figure out who you're working with tenet, right, is you have talents here based on their mark. And you'll notice every hero has a different mark. Now, each of those marks have their own tower, right, in the dungeons. Tower of Mark is separated into those. So, if the main damaging hero you're going to go with is one of these specific things, you then want to try to find some supports that go with them in that same mark. And you don't also want to go all the way into one mark, because just like in other games, the marks have a circular function, whereas one color beats the other color, but that like a rock, paper, scissors type of functionality. So while you want to make sure you get strong heroes to power up through one of those towers, you also want to make sure you have multiple so you're not at a disadvantage based on the type you've picked. Now, why do you want to focus on one tower specifically harder than the others? Because chapters. See how it says clear floor 22 in any tower of mark? That's any of the 4 colors. You just need to clear that floor. When you're trying to progress and clear these towers, you're not going to be, okay, I have all of them up to 15 and then all of them up to 16, right? The hero that you powered into at first, your carry, if you will, is going to be rising you up through that tower. So you want to make that your focus so you can get through a lot of these chapters sooner and get on to the next chapter. Because if you're on chapter 13 and the only thing holding you up is you need to clear a certain floor of the Tower of Mark, you want to punch through that to then get to the next chapter, and then you can start collecting all these rewards for things you probably already done before you finish that off, right? I have very little keeping me from the next chapter, but I guarantee you in the next chapter I've already done a lot of these things that I can then collect right off the bat, right? Progress equals income. See how it all comes back around. In your gallery, as you've gathered those different heroes, those different summons, you'll see yet another progress bar with rewards that you can take that we love to see, whether it be summons or gems or the fodder eggs. And these are just, once you've collected the heroes, you get credit for it. The more heroes you credit, the more you get progress. You're seeing progress equals income. And thus income can equal progress, because you're bringing in more gems, more possible summons. You then summon to get some new ones of these, who then open up further on. You just want to continue that exponential growth of the account, more unlocks, more higher in, higher up, to quote C.S. Lewis. Now, one other thing you want to make sure you're doing after you're doing this for your first day, because everything we've talked about here is what you're going to be doing for your first several hours playing this game, really just getting those juicy rewards. Because early on, the game is very generous with those rewards. You're going to start making that progress through the first whole normal part of campaign. You're going to just get those rewards in. You're like, oh, this is so awesome, right? So after that period, you're then going to want to get into a guild, right? Because if we want to keep progressing and playing the long game and getting that income, right? When you're in a guild, you then have access to the guild boss, right? Now, the guild boss is going to have different tiers of damage, right? Say, okay, first tier, you got to get this many 100,000 damage. This tier may be up to 1 million damage, and so on and so forth. And you want to make sure that you're able to beat that to then get the rewards every day. Exactly like in many other games that have a guild boss, right? There's daily rewards you can get from those that you want to make sure are coming in every day. So getting in a guild, day one, after that initial woohoo, I'm just seeing the game and getting those rewards, you want to get into a guild. Your quests here, every day you're going to have daily quests. You're going to have collection, advanced, adventure, and accumulation. These 4 are pretty much going to be longer, right? They have dailies. Consider these kind of like weeklies or whatever. And then these collection and adventure and accumulation are just overall arcing account quests and goals. And you see progress here. You're going to come to love these kind of progress bars, right? You progress, you get income. See how it works? Always make sure you're in here checking what you can do, what you can turn in, what you've achieved, what the next goal is, and work toward that, right? Look at these juicy rewards. Summons, right? Other resources, which we'll go into how to spend those again in the future. And then those gems you've been pulling in, right? Just a quick note on where to spend them at. Get your free packs every day. Spend those in the market. I would always use them to get excellent runes and above, right? You see here, some things are bought with gems, some things are bought with coin or gold. You're going to have a lot more gold than you ever are going to have gems if you play in the game a lot. So further in the game, you have a lot of gold. It's okay to buy these different fodders and things, but gems, you always want to buy the epic runes, the purple runes and above. Or if you find supreme runes or 5-star dragon eggs, which have cooldowns, how often they can be there, you want to buy those when they show up for gems. Other than that, and certain special purchases or doing your quick auto drop every day, twice a day with gems, that's where you want to spend those gems early on. Save them up to maximize. Maximizing is by getting those 4-star and 5-star dragon eggs to get that team up as quickly as possible. Now, an optional thing to consider is the battle order. It's like a battle pass. You've seen it in many other games, even games on console like Fortnite or Call of Duty and whatnot. There are different things you can do without purchasing it, right? The free, but there's also the VIP. You can see the rewards here are different. Obviously, you need to be in the VIP, the paid version, to get the mythic hero shards, which are that tier of heroes above legendaries. Very hard to get, very rare to get. They are pretty much account changing. So you need to, as early as possible, decide if this is going to be for you or not. Maybe you want to take a few days to get into the game to see if you're going to want to do that. But the earlier you decide to do that, if you're going to, the better you can. Because you can reset that every month and get a lot of nice juicy rewards, right? Every so often, this will change, right? See, the season ends in 17 days and 8 hours. Well, there you go. And everything that has a little exclamation point or a little I, right, it'll tell you exactly what you need to know. The game is very good about giving you the information, so things are explained for you, spelled out for you. Yeah, I've stayed at a little cheeky level 69 here. I'm waiting for the global launch. Now, those are the core things to always be doing, especially first off in the game. Keep in mind, more videos to come on all the different game modes. But those are the things that you want to be doing. Now, just a note, not one of the tenets, but when you're going to be building up your heroes and making that progress, we'll talk about it more in depth at another point, but you're going to want to put gear on your heroes. Obviously, you have a hero, they need to be wearing armor, equipment, have weapons. All right? And where are we going to get that? The Dwarven Ruins, right? Right here are the icons that shows you which sets you're going to want to get and which one provides which one. Also conveniently let you know if there's an event going on tied to this specific dungeon, right? And we'll cover that in the future about how to more efficiently spend your energy every day, what you should purchase, what you should not, etc., etc. But inside of these, you're going to have progress up to the stages. You can see you'll get different tiers of gear, right? And you're going to want to keep your heroes geared. Where do you put that on? On the hero page, where we were just a little bit ago, right? You're going to go here to equipment, and you've got the ability to put these on. And coming back full circle to why awakening is the most important, these 3 slots here, your artifacts are open to Awakening 1, Awakening 3, and Awakening 5, right? These can have certain specific stats on them that just are huge. The Awakening 5 artifact, you can get to roll main stats, speed. Yeah, that's why A5s are so good, because they're just going to be heads and shoulders above everyone. Now, don't invest in bad gear. And by invest, I mean roll to the max of 16. The gold cost goes up exponentially. So you want to find gear that has the stats you need to get you through that, but only go up to a certain amount, right? Maybe take it up to a plus 8 or 9 when you have just early on gear, just to try to make progress and then eventually get better gear, right? When I say good gear, I mean things that are percentage based when it comes to attack instead of flat. Speed is really, really good. Effect hit, which is landing effects. And then crit rate, obviously, you know the stats you're going to need. You've played enough games. You guys are smart. You know what to do. But don't leave your characters naked, all right? Put something on them. So not to worry, you're probably saying, J-Town, you're 69, right? But I thought global launch was a week away. That's true. Global launch is going to have its own new servers for global, which I am waiting to start on. That's why I've taken a step back in the game just to watch all the changes unfold. This is a day one account on what I call the legacy servers. Those are servers you're not going to be able to join at global. They'll be new, fun and exciting, and I want to play with the viewers, with the audience, with the rest of the players from both operating systems. I want to be just in there with you guys in the mix of how it is at launch, right? This legacy account is cool. I've made some progress. I've done a lot of fun things, but not to worry. You're not going to be in there with people who've been playing for months and months and months. Now, granted, there may be whales, because there's always whales in the games, right? And they go before us into places unknown. So it's going to be fun, right? It's coming out very, very soon. I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, so if you have not, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be putting out a lot of good content on this game. And You know, be here with me, hang out, maybe even join my guild. All right, I'm in J-Town. I'll see you in game.